Hey everyone, well, happy President's Day. I am coming to you from New Mexico with breaking news in the Epstein investigation, and that is that tonight, the New Mexico State Legislature passed legislation to convene a truth commission to investigate Epstein's crimes here in our state, beginning tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. in our state capitol. This bill, House Resolution 1, was led by State House Representative Andrea Romero of Santa Fe and State House Representative Mariana Anaya of Albuquerque, and will help to bring forward a full picture of what happened here in New Mexico with Epstein's crimes, to understand why the crimes that were reported to federal and state authorities were never fully investigated, and to ensure that we have safeguards in place to not only hold those individuals accountable who were complicit, but to ensure that this can never happen again in our state. So we want to say thank you to our state legislators for leading on this legislation, which is not only vital as a larger part of our investigation at the federal level through our congressional inquiries and the Epstein Files Transparency Act, but also because it is an important piece of understanding what happened in our state, including at Zorro Ranch. I also want to say this was a completely bipartisan effort and passed the New Mexico legislature unanimously with 62 votes, showing that ensuring that we are holding our leaders accountable and investigating these crimes is not a partisan issue. And as always, New Mexico is leading the way. Now, Jeffrey Epstein purchased Zorro Ranch in New Mexico in 1993. He purchased nearly 10,000 acres from former Governor Bruce King, and also included a parcel adjacent to it that he leased from state lands. Over the years, beginning in the early 1990s, there were allegations that were reported not only to state and local officials, but the FBI of sexual assault happening on that property. And what we do not fully understand at this time is why those crimes were never fully investigated, who knew about them, who was complicit in them, and ultimately why nobody was ever held accountable. That property was held by Jeffrey Epstein until his death in 2019 and was sold in 2023 to a limited liability company. Now, what is particularly interesting is over the last several days, there has been new breaking news that the Santa Fe New Mexican broke of who purchased that property just 2 years ago. In fact, it is now known that the individual who purchased Zorro Ranch in 2023 is a billionaire businessman from Texas who is also a former state senator named Donald Huffines. Now, what is interesting is that Mr. Huffines is also running for public office to be the state comptroller in Texas, and used an LLC as a shell company to purchase that property through his wife as a trustee. It is also interesting to note that his son is currently serving as a high-level political appointee in the Trump administration in the White House at the current moment. Now, we don't know if these ties mean anything, but what we do know is that this property is a property in which multiple survivors have reported abuse, including several known survivors and several known FBI files, in addition to several crimes that have never been investigated, including crimes against girls, boys, men, and women, and an uninvestigated crime in which a tip was called into a radio station and ultimately the FBI, in which it was alleged that 2 foreign women who were trafficked to New Mexico were killed during a sex act and potentially buried on the property. Our state land commissioner, Stephanie Garcia Richards, has called for a full investigation, and the New Mexico Attorney General has requested all of the FBI and federal files to begin investigating these crimes. But we want to know what happened on this ranch, why these crimes were never investigated, and to ensure that we have in place the laws, the policies, and the accountability to ensure that nothing like this can ever happen again in our state. So I want to say thank you to all of our state leaders who are leading the way once again here in New Mexico. We are so grateful for everything that you are doing, and we will be there every step of the way.